Hi guys, how are you guys today? Are you ready for my grass court season preview? Yeah, I'm going to preview the whole grass season right now. First, let me hit you with the announcement. Um, this is going to be my first time doing Wimbledon of this channel since I started at the beginning of 2020, and the last Wimbledon was 2019. So I'm excited about that to bring Wimbledon to you. But what I want to say is they've made a decision about the fans at Wimbledon today where they're going to start with 50% capacity of fans across all the courts. No maximum 1,000 like the French Open, just 50% capacity. Then they're going to build throughout the tournament until they're going to end with the men's and women's final will have 100% capacity for those finals, just for the finals only. And from the first day, there'll be 50% capacity. And I think they're going to be building between the 50 and 100% throughout the tournament. We don't know exact dates, but we know the first day will definitely be 50% capacity. The final will definitely be 100%. And then they'll be sort of between the two throughout the tournament, right? So that's what we're looking at for Wimbledon this year. 50 to moving forward to 100% capacity at the final. So I thought I would start my grass court preview and letting you know about the crowds and what they're planned to be at Wimbledon this year, right? So anyway, let's get into it. So Federer is going to be playing in LA, right? Roger Federer. Also, Daniel Medvedev is going to be there. Zverev, Rublev, um, Roberto Batista, Goffin, and Monfils. In Queens, we're going to have Berrettini, Shapovalov, Yannick Sinner, Karatsev, Demonor, players like that, Fanini. So first, I just want to say, like about the grass court, we're really going to get to see Federer if he's got a chance at his age to still do damage at Wimbledon, or to achieve anything significant. I really think Medvedev's got a great chance because the indoor courts where he won in Paris and London last year are very similar speed and bounce and grass. And then when you add that he won both of those on a similar court speed to grass, and that he's just made the quarterfinals of the French Open on his worst surface, so that shows he's about the best as he would ever be on clay, quarterfinals of the French, right? So that shows he would do great on his best surface as of right now. But as of last time we were on a court this speed, indoors, he won Paris, London. Even they speeded up the Australian Open and made it fast, lower bouncing. And Medvedev made the final there. And then Paris and London, very close to grass. He won both. So last time on a court like this, he won. And then right now, he's doing well on his worst surface, quarterfinals of the French. So I think Medvedev for Halle and Wimbledon that he'll be playing, he's got a great chance to do amazing things here. Federer's got a good chance as well, but the problem is he's been out for over a year, just coming back, and he's almost 40 years of age, so that's going to be difficult. Who else have we got in Halle? We've got Zverev. Zverev made the semi-finals. I think the grass suits his game because he's got a huge serve. He can attack and shorten the points. A lot of the times he's too defensive, so he does well on clay, but it doesn't suit his game to be like that because he's not going to defend at the elite level like a Nadal and Djokovic, a lot of these other guys. So why do it? Because when you get to the highest level, you just lose. But his height, his serve, his power game, when he's doing that, he's at his best. And grass is the best surface to do that. He'll also be playing Halle, so we'll get a chance to see what he's going to do. Rublev, I think that Rublev, his game really suits clay actually, and he had a disappointing clay season. He likes time to set up, big strokes, a lot of power, and when he's got that time, he can hit through any kind of a court. But on grass, you'll rush him. So he's going to be playing at Halle and Wimbledon, but I don't see maybe quarterfinal at Wimbledon, something like that could be possible if he finds his best possible game. But Rublev, I mean, like he could be like a quarterfinal round of 16 type of guy on grass. That's what I see. But as far as like the whole grass court season sort of moving forward into Wimbledon, right? I see like typically you've had where Djokovic has been the favorite, followed by Federer, followed by Nadal, and the younger generation, they couldn't really do many big things, right? Um, but this year I just see, and then the last couple of years we saw Nadal in the semi-finals, 2018 and 19. Those were his last 2 years. He did well. But then if you if you say, well, Djokovic, not only is he coming off 2 weeks of the French Open, and he's got 2 weeks to Wimbledon, he's got to go 7 best-of-5 sets. In the 2 weeks, he can't really rest because he's got to get used to grass courts, right? And I think physically all that at his age, the 4 out of 6 weeks, and it's actually 5 out of 7 because he played in Serbia, coming off 3 weeks off, and then 3 weeks playing Serbia and the French Open, 2 weeks off, and then to go another 2 weeks, and in those 2 weeks off, you're trying to get used to the grass courts. And then now in your mid-30s, like when there used to be 2 weeks between the two of them, Djokovic was much younger. Recent times it's been 3, but now at his mid-30s, putting it back to 2 weeks and playing 3 weeks in a row. I mean, Nadal's got a bit better situation because for him, he didn't play 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row. He had 2 weeks off and then played 6 matches at the French Open, gets another 2 weeks off. So for him, the fact that at least he can say before the French Open, he had 2 weeks off. After the French Open, he's got 2 weeks. He played 6 instead of 7 matches there. So he could be a bit fresh, right? But I really think when I look at it, like with Djokovic, like I said, being exhausted and being in a situation where like he's played for 3 weeks, he's got 2 weeks off, but he needs to get used to the grass, and then he has to prime himself to somehow go another 2 weeks. But how does he do that unless he rests for 2 weeks? Then he's had no time on grass. So I see it difficult for him. He's usually the favourite. Then Federer with the 14 months off and being almost 40, it's going to be difficult for him to be anything like the old Federer at Wimbledon, right? So then if you take Federer out, then Nadal's the next favourite. But then Nadal doesn't have the confidence of winning the French Open. So if he's not got confidence to win the French Open, he feels down on himself. He lost at the French. How's he going to win on grass? So then that compromises him too, right? So then the younger generation, then it comes back to Medvedev. He's made the quarterfinals. He's had a week off. He's got a week at Halle. Then he's getting another week off. Then he's got Wimbledon. He's at the prime of his career. He's proven on the indoor court, similar to grass. He won Paris and London. And right now, he's been playing his best level of tennis, right? On the worst surface, the French Open, making the quarterfinals. So for me, a lot set up for him to win Wimbledon. But I think I would put him as favourite. But I think if Nadal can find his good level and forget about the confidence in the French Open loss, right? With him usually being third favourite, the next generation not winning, the next generation not proving themselves on grass. So by that, putting it down to 3 guys, Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, with Federer being 40 and coming off a 14-month layoff, all their matches on grass was 4 or 5 sets. It was a battle. That was when Federer was playing all the time. So was him. Federer was at his peak, right? And then if they're that close, then what about now when Federer's 40? and Federer's had 14 months off or a year and a half where he's not really played, whereas Nadal's 5 years younger and he's playing all the time to get match fitness, right? He's come off against a Grand Slam, long match against Djokovic. He's played the whole clay court season. He never really took a year off or anything like that. He's got the match fitness, so that puts him at his physical best level. He's yeah, so he's got his match fitness. And then he's 5 years younger. So you're fitter when you're 5 years younger anyway. So that's the situation with Nadal. So how would Federer have a chance 5 years older and not playing? And then even when they're at the peak of their game, right? Um, they were close. It was 4 or 5 sets. So all Federer would have to drop is a bit, and he's lost. Um, so that's sort of how I'm thinking at it now. They were close before Federer was slightly better, but now with a year and a half without Federer playing him being 40, he drops. He couldn't afford to drop because they were already 4 or 5 sets. Um, so then like you'd put Nadal ahead of him, and then with Djokovic coming off 3 weeks, then only 2 weeks off, and he needs to try to rest the body so he can go another 2 weeks. Last time he did this, he lost in the third round. It's going to be very difficult for Djokovic. So if you take Djokovic out and you say Federer and Nadal and you take Federer out because of those reasons, and then you say, well, it was only Federer and Nadal, Djokovic did something on grass. Djokovic is exhausted from 3 weeks playing, and now he's only got 2 weeks off and he's in his mid-30s. Federer with the age and all the time away from the game. Then you just got Nadal in the next generation. So if the next generation can't prove themselves on grass in a way they never have, then Nadal's got a great opportunity. But like I said, for reasons earlier, I would give Medvedev the best chance, followed by Nadal. Then it's going to be Djokovic and Federer, maybe Zverev. But it's going to all. But if Djokovic can not be physically affected by the French Open, the clay season, then he would go back to being favourite, of course. But we don't know if that's going to be the case. But I think him coming off this long, hard slog of 3 weeks of Serbia and the French Open, and then the reduce of the 3 weeks to the 2 weeks, it affects Djokovic badly, and then Federer being 40 and all this time off. So for me, those two things give the next generation a shot. They give Nadal a shot, but I'm going with Medvedev, the most likely for success this grass season at Halle and Wimbledon, and then Nadal the second most likely, followed by Djokovic third, Federer fourth, and then someone like a Zverev, you know? So that's where I see the grass court season, but I see Federer and Djokovic as being compromised and opportunities for Nadal in the next generation, and really giving Medvedev the biggest chance, followed by Nadal the second biggest chance. So that's how I see the grass court season shaping up. If I had to go with a Wimbledon power rankings, I would have Medvedev at number one. I would have Nadal at number two, Djokovic 3, Federer 4, Zverev at 5. I don't know. I think Berrettini should be up there. Thiem, I think he's been poor on clay, and he's always bad on grass, so I think he would go out early. Tsitsipas, I think he's going to be too physically exhausted. His grandmother died, and there's a lot emotionally going on. He could do quite well, but I'd put him at number 6, I would say, too. But yeah, that's how I'm looking at it at the moment. So that's my video. It's a short season, so the video is not that long, not a whole lot of tournaments. It's mostly I've got to do a preview of Wimbledon and Halle and Queens anyway, but this is just a general about the whole grass court season and how I see it. And then those are my Wimbledon power rankings at the moment, but I'll go in more detail later. But that's my video for today. I'm going to try to get Roger Federer for an interview ahead of Wimbledon. I'm going to try to get Djokovic and see how he's feeling about his French Open win, and Nadal how his really poor semi-final performance, how he feels, why he was so defensive, why he hit the forehand across court and refused to go down the line and attack. So I want to try to get all three of them, but hopefully I'll get at least one of them. So be back for those interviews and be back tomorrow. I'm going to preview Halle and Queens, and then I'm going to do a lot more videos, preview Wimbledon. So much coming up. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Have a great day, night, wherever you are, and subscribe. Thanks. Be back here tomorrow for my next video. Thanks for being with me, guys. Thanks for being with me, guys. Bye for now.